Hello, hello everyone.
Yeah, hi.
Hello everyone. Um, can you hear me, please? Can you give me can you give me a shout if you can hear me? Just raise your hand if you can hear.
Yes, Felix.
You can hear me, right?
Right.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation on our pre-departure. And first of all, I want to apologize so much for our delay. There has been some few technical hitches which has caused this. So on behalf of the African chapter, the Indian chapter, the Southeast Asian chapter, and the South Asia chapters, I want to welcome you all. I also want to congratulate you for being admitted into the 2017 fellowship of the Erasmus Mundus program. As you may know, this is one of the most coveted programs in the world, and this is no mean achievement. So we are very proud of you. So today, I and my colleagues will discuss with you some of the questions you may have concerning your Erasmus journey, and then we also share our experiences with you. Okay. So we'll be talking about our Erasmus stories. We'll also discuss with you um, some of the issues that you have to deal with, your residence permits. Some of you may be interested in working. Some of you may want to stay after. Also, some of the advantages you can take off, you can make use of during your study. So I am Felix Kwabnadonko. I'm from Ghana, and I'm the current president of the African chapter. My colleague here is Sazad. Sazad is from the South Asian chapter, and he's in charge of information and communication. Kate is also
Hello,
a
everybody.
co-organizer. Kate is the president of the Southeast Asian chapter. Then we have our colleagues from the Indian chapter, Elsa and Aditi from that chapter. Okay, so I want to share with you first a background of my Erasmus journey. I'm from Ghana, and mine was in environmental sciences. So I had to do it in concerning, it's called a Joint European Masters in Environmental Sciences. Mine involved 4 countries: Portugal, Germany, Denmark, and Spain. And with you all, you realize that you have different countries for your per semester. So mine, I chose to start in Portugal and then do the other semesters in Denmark, and then an internship in Germany. Then I went for some conferences in Spain, but I did not stay in Spain. I just went for conferences. So most of the Erasmus programs have about 4 different countries you go to. Each semester you do a course in one country. Depending on how much you are willing to travel, and also your career objectives, you can choose the countries that you prefer, and also maybe the courses that are in line with those countries. So I chose Portugal, Denmark, and Germany. as my main places for studies. So I started from Portugal. I stayed in Denmark and used in Portugal. I stayed in Aveiro University. Then when I came to Denmark, it was the University of Aalborg. Then whilst I was in Aalborg, I had to do my internship. So then I went to Germany and did my internship with the United Nations Environmental Program. And then I returned back to Denmark. That's how I chose to do mine. So as we talk about our journeys, you might have something to say. Sazad, do you want to say something about yours?
Thank you, Felix. Hello, welcome here, everybody. I'm Sajjad Hussain. I'm from South Asian chapter, and yes, my one was in 3 countries, but we had the option to choose 2. So I choose 2 countries. Can anybody hear? Because I can't see Felix. Your video is not there. Oh, right. Thank you. Yeah. So I choose 2 out of those 3. One in Spain and another one was in Italy. So it depends on you. You could also do it in anybody could also do it in 3 countries, but I choose 2. So this is what Felix said, that how much are you willing to travel, or if you find it like out of 2 or 3, out of 4 or 3, 2 is enough, you can do it. It depends totally on you. Yes, Felix.
Hi, Sazad. Hi, Sazad.
Yes, carry on, Felix. Yes, Felix.
Yeah,
Do I have to repeat, or I think you have heard what I have said? Yes.
yeah. Are you okay? Thank you very much.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So, as Sazad mentioned his experience, you also have different programs at what you want to do. Sazad, Sazad,
Yes,
Sazad.
Felix.
Yeah, a number of people say
Yes,
they didn't
Felix.
hear you. So can you repeat yours? A number they said they didn't hear you.
All right. So my master's was on diagnosis and repair of buildings, and we had like option of 3 countries to travel. One in Spain, another one is Italy, and the third one was Poland. But we had the option to choose all 3, or we could reduce it down to 2. But I took the option of choosing Spain and Italy. So I didn't go to Poland, but some of my friends they travel 3. So as Mr. Felix said, that it actually depends on you. How much are you willing to travel, or how much do you think it is important to cover the number of countries? Like, so if you find it like 2 out of 4 is suitable, is fine for you. And if you think you need to travel all 4 or all the options, you can do so. It depends on the program offer and what you think. Thank you, Felix.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Sazad. So the formalities before you go, we all have to apply for visas to go to the countries where we are going to study, and the visas they differ according to countries. Some countries are in the EU and in the Schengen. So if you get a visa for that country, for example, when I got the visa for Portugal, I could go to Denmark and Germany automatically. You get it? But then I could not travel to United Kingdom. I had to make a different visa for UK when I wanted to visit the United Kingdom, because the visa formalities for UK is different because it's not part of it's part of the European Union, but then in terms of travel, it has its own requirements. So please make sure you've gotten to know the requirements for the places you want to visit. But then when you have the Schengen, you're able to go around the Schengen countries. Also, excuse me, in the for the Schengen countries, wherever you arrive, that you have to go to the local immigration office and report your entry. It needs to be done, otherwise it might have some consequences. So whenever you go to the university, the first point of call, try and go to the international office and speak to the consultants at the international office so that they will guide you about the local requirement offices, local requirements that you need to adhere to. Otherwise, you might have some immigration issues. So also before you go, you need to get your accommodation in place. Accommodation, sometimes you look at the exchange rate, it's hard for you to understand that you may be spending so much on accommodation. So one of the strategies you can use is to talk to the international office so that before you go, they can link you with accommodation providers. There are different people who provide accommodation. There are also students who are leaving their universities and are willing to give you their accommodation. You can work with such opportunities as well. What I realized was that normally on campus accommodation was more expensive, but then when you get it outside, it was cheaper. And I've realized that for me, I prefer, because I'm doing a lot of studies on the campus, I like to interact with the people in the country, so I like to rather stay outside campus. But then we have our individual preferences. You know what you want to do. So look at these options. You can go to Facebook groups. In Aalborg, they have a Facebook group called Room in Aalborg, where you can go and look for people who are willing to share their rooms or want to rent out their rooms. Otherwise, you can talk to the international office to get options for accommodation. Also, when you contact the student associations, they can help you. When you talk to the student associations, for example, ESN, EMA, they might have some links that they can share with you. So, as I said earlier, when you arrive in a country, first thing, make sure you talk to the international office. Also, go to and then you contact the local immigration center so that you are registered as a new entrant. And then they record your entry into the area. And then, because you are sharing place with other people, we come from different cultures. But then one thing which is common is that everybody likes clean places. So we want to be good ambassadors of our programs. So please try and be decent and be a good ambassador for Emma. So there are a number of student associations. When you travel from your country to another country, you'll be looking for friends. When I came to Portugal, there was a buddy. There was a buddy. So that my buddy came to pick me from the airport to the university. It was a very good experience for me because I didn't know anyone in Portugal. And with you, it will be the same. So apart from my buddy, then I joined some students' unions. And through that, I made friends. And that makes your study experience nicer because after studying, you might want to interact with people. You might want to have friends that you can go out with, because studies can be very hectic sometimes and very depressing. But when you make good friends, it enhances your social life. And the nice thing about Erasmus is that apart from the studies, we want to enhance cultural exchange so that we learn from each other's culture. And this cultural intelligence is needed in our global community which we live in now. It's very important that in our global community we know much about each other and we can accommodate each other. So it's good for you to make friends at this period during your internship, during your Erasmus stay. So we have ESN, we have ASEC, we have assets. These are all student associations which can facilitate your social experience. Aside this, you can talk to your buddy. You can talk to your buddy, and your buddy can also introduce you to some other groups so they can have friends there. The nice, as I was talking about, Erasmus is about mobility. And when we talk about mobility, we are talking about you being able to travel. In traveling, there are groups that give student discounts. These discounts can go with flights, they can go with buses, they can go with trains. Contact your local ESN groups, contact your international office so that you can get details on these options so that you can travel and make advantage of these options. Also, when you take advantage of these discounts, you can save more. You get it? Whilst doing your Erasmus, it's also important for us to save, because after you are done with Erasmus, you need to have something on you to do something. You get it? So please take note of this so that you can also take advantage of this. Okay, so we have the Schengen area, which has a lot of countries where you can just travel to without applying for visa. That's the Schengen area, and I haven't checked the current situation with the number of countries, but then it involves a whole number of, so most of the countries in Europe are involved in this. From my experience, it was UK that I had to apply for another visa where I was traveling. But then if you have questions on this, you can put it in our chat group. We'll answer you all of these after. So most of the EU is using the euro. If you go to some countries, they have their own currencies. Denmark is using the krona. Switzerland is using the Swiss franc. Sweden also has its own currency. Norway has its currency. UK also has its currency. But then the majority of the countries are using the euro, and that makes it easier for you. So the student card is another thing. It's an international student card. When you go to the international office, you can talk to them about this course. It will also help you with your movement around Europe and even to some countries outside of Europe, because some organizations for traveling, if you have your international student card, they will give you some discounts, and it also helps you very much for your profile, because you get discounts and then some other services. If you go to some restaurants, etc., it helps you. Okay, so as I was talking, Erasmus involves, apart from studying, cultural exchanges are also involved. You get it? And we are coming from different countries. We have our own cultures. In Africa, some cultures, the things we do are quite different how we greet is different. If you come to Europe, their dressing is different because of the weather. Also, the way they interact with each other in terms of greeting might differ. In Asia, it differs, and then in South America, it might have its own nuances. So the nice thing about the Erasmus experience is for us to know about each other's culture and how people re, re, people interact with each other with reference to some social norms. You get it? For example, you can see that some places people bow when they are greeting, but it's not like that in other areas. Especially in Northern Europe, like the Scandinavia, Germany, they are not so much into greeting. Like when I was in Southern Europe, like in Portugal, Spain, where people are always sharing hello, hello, hello. It's not like that in Northern Europe. So as you go to each country or each sub-region, you may adjust your cultural notes and manners. But then it's always better to try and understand the local culture so that you don't end up offending people, and also you understand it better when people respond to you. You may not misunderstand it and see it like they're being offensive, or maybe they're snobbing you. It's not like that. They all have their different ways of interacting with people. So the European Union is premised on some values, Um, one of them is respect for human dignity, liberty, democracy, equality, the rule of law, and respect for human rights, including the rights of persons belonging to minorities. So these are some of the fundamental international human rights which are also embedded in the European Union. So it's important that we try and respect these values whilst we are in Europe. They say that when you are in Rome, you do as the Romans do. You get it? So that you respect the local culture and the local laws. There's been a lot of anti-immigration sentiments. Sometimes also because um, some travelers have misconducted themselves, and that brings people's anger towards foreigners. So please make sure you respect the laws of the countries that you visit, so that you enjoy your stay and then be able to interact with the people as well. Going further, we all might have our egos, etc., but then let's try and be respectful to all. You are free to do what you want and let others be. Your opinion matters and others too, so you accommodate other people's opinions and not be antagonistic towards them. You should understand that there are minorities, but then we are all equal. The rule of law and respect for human rights, including the rights of persons belonging to minorities. And this has become crucial for us to stress these because of the current global climate with respect to immigration and immigrants. As you are traveling for studies, you are part of the global citizen and then those who are moving around. So it's important for us to be cognizant of these factors as well. So the Erasmus embeds an internship option. The internship is meant to help us, apart from what we've learned in the classroom, to gain hands-on experience of what is awaiting us in the working world. You get it? So there's an internship option, and all of you will have the opportunity to do an internship in the country. So in the internship, Mine, as I explained to you, I was in Germany, and I did mine with the um, United Nations Environmental Program. It was a great experience for me. I learned so much working on factors affecting um, ecosystem conservation across the globe. I dealt with animals, migration of migrant birds, and this I dealt with different countries and their strategies in dealing with the issue of decline in migrant birds. I was also part of the education team, so we went to schools in Germany. They call them the gymnasiums. We went to the high schools where we talk to people about conservation and environmental issues. On UN Day, we had a forum where we invited the German media um, and corporate organizations where we interacted with them. And this was an experience I still remember very much. In fact, I was featured in the local newspaper. So when I went back to Denmark, I also included it in my report. All these experiences, I included them all in my report. So when you go for your internship, I mean, please just be open-minded, volunteer for activities that will enhance your career. Because I made very good contacts there who gave me good recommendations when I was leaving and applying for jobs. So please take good advantage of this. The university will help you to find your internship. You get it? The university will help you to find your internship. And also, once you attend conferences, you get to hear of different internship opportunities. You may also hear of other students who have done some internships and might recommend it for you. So you can look at all these. I looked at the UN because of my career plans. So look at your career plans and then the kind of organizations where you can get a good experience that will enhance your career. So I want to suggest some ways you can get an internship. At sometimes in your university there will be a guest lecture. The guest lecturer will come to your university and give a lecture. The guest lecturer may be coming from another university, may be coming from a research institution, may be coming from a government organization or a non-governmental organization. You have this chance to talk to the guest lecturer, get a person's contact, and then you can talk about your plans for an internship. This will help because even if the person may not be able to help, you will suggest somebody, and that will lead to something good for you. Also, some companies do job fairs. They might come to the university. Take this opportunity to meet them and talk with them. You get it? There's a career center in Denmark. There's a career center in the communes. So if you go there, you can get to know something. So you can send. You can also do your own search on the internet about the companies you are interested in. Excuse me, and then you send an email to the human resource office, or you talk to the international office. Sometimes they might have a link with some of these organizations, and that will be very helpful. And you can do your internship outside of your mobility countries as well, if you wish. For example, during my course, some people went to the United States, but then the United States was not part of my mobility route. But then they chose to do their internship in the United States. So you can also choose a country outside of your mobility route for your internship. So there are some networks that you cultivate, and these are friends. I have friends from Portugal. I still talk with them. You get it? When I was in Portugal, when I was in Germany, when I was in Denmark, Christmas or vacations was a very lonely time. But then there were some families who would come and then they would take you to their home so you can spend some days with them. Take advantage of these as well. because up to now I still talk with all of these people, and they've been great help, even though I left Europe still. Then you can also go to your company, the company invitations that you might receive from the career fairs. These are networks that you can keep. Also on LinkedIn profile. On LinkedIn, you can make some nice connections. Then your Erasmus organizations there, ESN, etc. will also help you. If you don't get the internship that you like, you might have a backup plan to help you. So the backup plan may be you may have a first choice, a second choice, or a third choice. So your second choice can be maybe a country in another country, an organization outside the country where you have wanted to go to. So have a backup. You might have about 3 options. If the first one doesn't work, you can work on the other options, or you can choose not to go for an internship if you prefer. Some people did not go for internship, they just chose to do a project on their own. So to make your internship experience awesome, make the human resource your friend, and in the end, you know, a lot of opportunities has to do with you knowing somebody. So if you know somebody there, they can also always recommend you. Always in your motivation, be clear and convincing. You get it, and let them know where your career option, what you plan to do in terms of your career. Yeah. Then you can also do some online assessment to understand your 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 personality, which can help you in choosing the kind of works that you also want to do. With the internships, you may be passively look around for internships, but then you can actively engage in internship search, getting closer to the period you have to do an internship. I did my in my 3rd semester, so I started searching towards the end of my 2nd semester. But then you may use your own strategy. Excuse me. So some internships you have to do an interview. So these are some of the things you should look out for. The company, why you are choosing this company, and how it helps your research or your career objectives. How your research will benefit also the company, because the company also wants to gain something. So there's the STAR interview option, situation, task, approach, and the results. Okay, and then the interview is an experience just to assess your suitability for the internship you want to have. So don't be disturbed when they say you are going to have an interview. I mean, it should not be anything so taxing on you. Okay, the interview is just, it will not be anything that should worry you. It will be a nice experience, and actually you need it, because later when you're applying for jobs you still have to do interviews. You do not be worried if they say you have to do an interview. Just research more about the company when they ask you for the interview. So about the residence permits, after your stay, some people might want to stay on in Europe. You get it? So for non-EU, for example, you might need the NUFIC agreement. It depends on the country you are. If you're in the Netherlands, you need the NUFIC agreement. If you're in Germany, Scandinavia, they also have their own requirements. So please, these are country specific. Go to your international office. My international office helped me a lot when I was applying for my green card, etc. So please speak to your international office about this, because they are linked to the immigration and they make their permits faster. So when you do your internship, okay, some people might give you some stipend. Some other places they do not give anything at all. You get it? So please make sure you are knowledgeable about the company that you want to go to, so that if they don't give any money, you would have saved some money to go there. Also, the international office sometimes they give some grants for internship. Erasmus Mundus also some courses have something for internship. So please contact your international office and then the course coordinator of your program to know about your particular course. So me, I learned a lot about global organizations, the German working culture, and also myself. You know, sometimes you need to be in a different environment to understand yourself, and the pressures in the different environments can bring out who you truly are. You get it? So this is a very good experience. I will encourage you all to take advantage of, so that you can also know yourself better. You think you know yourself, but then some situations that are presented to you will make you understand yourself better. Okay. Some people also like to talk to recruitment agencies when they are looking for internship, but then it will be better to talk to your, how do you call it, talk to your international office, talk to ESN, talk to ASEC. These ones are more student oriented and will facilitate your internship applications and experience. And moreover, they have a lot of experience in this area. Okay. And still on the issue of interviews and recruitment agencies, um, the issue is that the work culture is changing, and then application processes are also changing all the time. So please, since we did this and at this time things are changing, it's always better for you to be in touch with the company you want to be recruited at, so that you have the most up-to-date options. Okay, so like I explained, for me at the United Nations, I didn't get any stipend. It was pro bono, it was free. And but some organizations give money, they give stipend or they give some sort of support. So please make sure you are aware of it before you try it. Okay, then you might do some departmental interviews as well, because there are some organizations where you have to go to the department. So here, your interpersonal skills will be very important. You see, and then your communication skills, and especially because there are work cultures and there are organizational cultures. There are lots of organizations who want people that can serve like a link, people who are not so antisocial, but then people who can move with the work culture, who can flow with the work culture. You get it? So read about the company culture. You can get about this from the LinkedIn profile, Facebook, family, employees, projects. You can look at the products that they do. can look at YouTube videos, the location of the organization. Okay, and the application process, sometimes it takes some time, so take it easy. It might take you some time. So we are coming to we've handled most of the thrust of the Erasmus journey. I'm sure you might have some questions which you can be putting it in the chat room so that we can be answering them from this period. What we've done is that we are also recording this for you so that you can also look through later. So if you have questions, you can start giving us your questions so that we can start answering you. So I'm here, Sazad is here, Kate is here, Ram is here, Aditi, Elsa, Nira, they're all here. If you have any question, please type it in and let's answer you. So any questions, please?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
It's Ashragi here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Kate, is that all right if I answer about the AMA portal and mentoring now, and then I give it to others to answer? Okay, so if you don't hear me, just put in the chat so that I could reconnect or something like this. So those of you who've been invited to join the Erasmus Mundus Association portal, there is currently a list of over 500 people waiting to be approved. So the approval is actually done in step because we need to check that each one of you is genuinely a student of Erasmus who has been accepted and is attending the course. So we have to check this with the EC. That's why there's kind of a delay, and currently you can imagine with 500 plus people on the list awaiting, it might not have happened immediately. So bear with us. it will be happening as we can clear the list. And one other thing about the EMA mentoring. So this is a program where it's under professional development, and we have a mentoring program in place where we have a mentor. A mentor so is an alumni or a second year student or a PhD student in Erasmus, and a mentee is someone who's can be currently a first year or a second year student, and depending on what the mentee would like to be mentored on, so whether it is career or it is soft skills or just basic knowledge, something like this in the field, then a matching process will be done. And some of the mentees who have had great mentors in the recent program, they've been able to broaden their network and get in touch with potential employees or even clients for when they wanted to start up a business. So currently, those of you who cannot actually join the EMA community portal, because that's where we will mostly be advertising the call. So the call is coming up soon. Actually, it's been prepared, just needs to be advertised on our website. What I would suggest is you join. I've just pasted something in the chat, so maybe you could join the Erasmus Mundus PG on Facebook, where we will equally be putting some information, and also be following us on Facebook for Erasmus Mundus. Sorry, I'm just gonna send you quickly the link. So you could then have some information there, and then obviously all other official information will also be circulated on the portal. But then once you're there, you'll benefit from that. And just to add something about internship, I know lots of you are being worried about internship. If I just may add that internship very much also depends on you students, so how much effort you're putting in. An advice would be to, when you start your course, to be in very close contact with your course coordinators, keep asking questions, and be proactive, and also start looking in which area you would like to obviously have an internship, or which country, which company. And then obviously closer to the time, you put in more effort where you're applying. We have in Erasmus Mundus professional development, we have on our YouTube, we have a couple of webinars that alumni have actually participated in, and given some guidance on how to use LinkedIn or things like this. So make use of these and to help yourself. So I think that's it for me, Kate, unless if I have more question. Is there more question that's being directed to me? Okay. And I wanted to add something else as well. Just one thing, guys. The very moment that you actually applied for an Erasmus this course, whether it's MSc or PhD, you've actually already started your Erasmus Mundus journey. So you might already be having some challenges, which many of you have been asking questions about visa and things like this. So this is all part of your Erasmus journey. Embrace it. You might find it difficult right now, but it's something you're gonna laugh about in years' time. So don't think that these little visa issues or things like this are big hurdles or something like that. It's something that every one of us have come across. And actually, you guys are way luckier than I have been. I've been the guinea pig on the course, so more than 10 years back. So just take the whole experience as a wonderful journey and something that you're going to learn from. And in some cases, in some universities, you're going to get more support. That depends really on the coordinator, on the country that you're in. But if you want a fantastic experience, it's also up to you. I saw someone posting about regarding internship program. Will I be allowed to remain in Europe after completing the Erasmus plus master program? Okay, so that's something that depends on where you studying, what are the visa rules and things like this. This is not something we can answer to you right now, because it might be that some of you get married to a European partner at some point in time, and yes, you can stay, or you get working permit or something like this. So it depends on your situation afterwards. It's not something that we can advise on because it's very individual. So even if you see that someone else has got it, it doesn't mean that necessarily if you're in the same situation you might get it or you might not get it. So it really depends on the embassy, the country, the situation, the amount of money you have on your account, the type of job offer you've got, and meeting language requirement, if any, and things like this. And those of you who don't have internship as part of your course, there is there's always the possibility of volunteering in some cases, but this is something you have to, again, once you're at your university, ask your coordinator, go to the career department there, ask for advice whether for volunteering you need a typical type of visa. And also, just to let you guys know, the steering committee of Erasmus Mundus is going to change as from September, and one of the initiative we're going to do is to kind of have volunteers where we're going to support you and have a kind of a job spec even, and you'll have a certain period of time to kind of do certain tasks. So this might be a possibility as well for you. I mean, we're not a company. We're an NGO, okay? So we're all volunteers, but there is a way there to have some support from our end. So Faye Pace, as per my course, I am to pursue internship in the last semester. However, can I pursue an internship before that as well? This is a conversation you need to have with your course coordinator. So approach him or her and see what's the possibility, which country you will be in, whether the law there allows you to do that under a student visa. Felix, Tazad, are you guys taking questions as well?
someone was asking about how long a German visa takes to be ready, and the thing is, it depends on where you are applying for. When I was in Denmark, it took me in the matter of within a month it should be ready, not more than a month. And I don't know how things have changed now, so I wouldn't be able to say much. But then it doesn't take more than a month. Two. It's normally 2 working days. That's what I.
It not only depends from where you are applying for it, it also depends on which country of origin you are, so which country your passport has been issued from. So this is
Okay.
something you need to consider and be always in dialogue with the embassy and alumni in your program. And that's where Emma, we kind of well knitted and close. So if when you become part of Emma is something you could benefit from by talking to alumni and people who are in the country who could help you already about how the procedure goes. Okay, Ashta is asking how much time around how much time we will be provided after finishing our course. So this again depends on in which country you last finish your course, but usually you should be given even 3 months till after to cover your graduation, so attendance of your graduation. But this differs country to country, so don't be surprised later on. But if ever there is issues with you in not getting enough time, you could always approach. Every single university will have a unit for accommodation, careers, visa. So approach these people, make use of these facilities, okay? Because each university is different and each course coordinator program is different as well. So, Binod, is UK your host university then? Okay, Sanjana Rastogi, counselors, this is something again that you have to approach in your university there. You will have free free access to the services, so careers and everything. That's what I keep saying. Make use of it.
And I can see someone is asking, can you do your internship with an organization where you are currently working? It will. You have to talk to your course coordinator as well. You get it? Because the internship that you do is normally in line with your course. So you have to also discuss with your course coordinator if what the kind of internship, the value that is coming from that will be beneficial to your career or your study program. It's not, you don't just do an internship, but then it's something that is going to help you with your semester objectives, your course objectives, and then your overall career objective.
Sri Rupa, yes and no. Again, guys, this is a conversation you should have with your course coordinators and the university. So the best advice I can give you is to be very proactive and always keep asking questions and go for it. even if you ask maybe alumni from your own course, they might not know it because they have never look out for it.
And someone is asking about assistance with visa application. Now, when you talk to the international office of your country, of the country which your destination country where you're going to do your program, the international office, any challenges that you're facing, inform the international office. The international office has direct contact with the immigration or the foreign affairs ministry, so they can send your invitation letter, which they send you. They can send a copy to the embassy where you are applying to facilitate your program, or whatever challenges that you may be facing. They can get in touch directly with the foreign affairs or the embassy. But we as EMA, we can only link you to your course coordinators if you are going to delay, and for them to consider you in terms of contingency measures. You get it? But then we do not offer visa or help you with applying your visa. We can, or if you have a challenge, we can point you to the person whom you can talk to make things happen for you.
Okay, somebody was put a question about waiving of fees on visa. Again, anything regarding visa, guys, this is something actually we can only support you in some way, because each application is individual, so it depends on the student, on what has been your visa application history before, how much money you can prove, all the courses and things like this. So Emma, we don't as such interfere in these things, and just to clarify, we are an organization of volunteers helping you guys. So we will put you, as Felix said, we will put you in contact with people who could help you, but there are certain things that, certain magic we can't do. But be careful. This is something you need to be careful with. So when I think somebody called Shen, okay, I can't remember. Okay, Vignesh, I think, asked about when to apply for the second visa. This is a conversation you already need to have with the consulate or embassy for your country. So, for example, in my case, I went to UK first, and then I went to Greece and Spain. So when I was in Mauritius, that's where I'm from, I was already going to the consulate. I didn't have an embassy there. So I was already going there to the consulate and asking for what will be required. For example, they will require a police certificate from your country. So I carried that with me when I went to UK, obviously, and in UK I had to do a medical test as well, and then get another police certificate for my application for the Greek visa. So this is a conversation you, as a student, need to have right now with the consulate or embassies in your country. Some of you, I mean, even for me, I remember 12 years back, they wanted me to go back home to get a Spanish visa, which is not the case anymore. But you need to have this conversation and be in touch with your embassies and work closely with your coordinators as well along the way.
Okay, now some are asking about clothing. You see, for example, you are coming from Africa. Africa is warm, and then you are going to a country which is cold, or you are coming from Asia, some warm parts of Asia to Europe. The best option would be to get some winter, some few. Don't take so much, just some few for you to. When you arrive in Europe, you can just use in the meantime, and then you get some from the country where you'll be staying. That way, it will be far better, because when you are there, you get better winter clothes, which are more, which will help you better there than to get so much from home to that side. So you can just have like one or two that will keep you warm for a start. Then whilst there, you'll be able to see the kind of clothing which will better match your situation.
Kate actually put a good comment there is for those of you who are struggling in getting your visas sorted, please do get in touch with your course coordinator. Emma, ourselves, we cannot do anything from our end. What you have to do is contact your course coordinator, get a letter, fax or email directly to the embassy with the details, okay? So that kind of can help, but do you have to agree on certain it depends on which country you're applying from, which country your passport was issued. So these 10, depending on some countries, it can take some more time, guys. So put this always, have this in mind, even when you are in your first country, when you're applying for the second one. Apply, like, start to ask the questions way beforehand. Can I buy a laptop in France by student card? Also, do I need to bring laptop with only registered Microsoft Windows? My laptop is not original version. How would you recommend buying your laptop like Apple? Okay, so this is something. I mean, you depending on which country you're going to go, you'll have loads of option. And if you do have, I think, with an ISIC card or even with your university card, you'll have some kind of like 10 or 20 off. But be careful with which type of adapter and things like this. So if you're traveling Switzerland, UK, Europe, it will have different adapters. So make sure that you have adapters with you when you're changing country. And in your university themselves, they might help you with a license of Microsoft, but that I cannot guarantee you. It depends on your university, really. What I would say, Presciosodero, is actually it's very hard to even get accommodation in the university accommodation, and unless you know someone who's already there who could help you beforehand. But this is again something you need to contact the accommodation office for that particular university if you want to have something just for a week or two and then move outside. So this is something, a conversation with them. You need to email them now itself, I would say, because they kind of get booked pretty fast now. So, Amjad, there are several reasons for a visa to be refused. So, this is not something we can advise right now. Is, it's an individual case. You have to look at why it was refused and get the appropriate letters or papers from your course. Which kind of food is commonly eaten in Europe, particularly Germany? Actually, you can get pretty much many different kinds of food. They have shops selling all type of exotic food as well. The challenge is to locate them the first few weeks that you are there. That's why hopefully once you join maybe the portal, and if I've posted both our Facebook pages, Erasmus Mundus and Erasmus Mundus Professional Guide. So on the email one, you could post this type of question and people can help you into locating where these shops are, because it depends also which location you are in Germany. Some have very good access to certain shops. Binod Bandari, will you need a police report from India too, as you spent your 4 years of time there? Again, this depends on where you're going to apply. For example, wherever I've lived in a country, even for 3 months or more, I've always applied for a police report just for my own sake, even if I didn't need it. Yeah, it might cost something, but it's something, you can have. But this police report also expires, so it's something to keep in mind whether you want it or not. One thing that I did was before I left, well, actually not before I left, afterwards when I was doing my PhD, I kind of gave my dad permission, legal permission to do all my paperwork. So my father can do anything to do for me, which is doing the bank, a legal document, getting my passport renewed, getting a police certificate and everything. This is something I would recommend as well if you think that you might need some papers from back home. So granting one of your relative permission to do paperwork for you back at home, that will kind of ease certain procedures. You don't have to go back or something like this, and they don't have to keep, they don't have to send you paper to sign and things like this. Caroline, yes. Sometimes they do have, and some universities can have hotels itself on the campus. It will be very expensive, but again, this is something you need to directly email the accommodation office there, and CC your course coordinator when if required, so that they know you are an Erasmus student, and yeah, you will stay only for 3 months, and all the scenario around. But yes, this is it's possible, but it depends on your university. Some of you are actually putting your email address in here already. Just so you know, the session is actually recorded and is going to be on YouTube. I would suggest to email Felix or Ram or Kate or Sajad your email rather than putting it in here, because everyone otherwise will see your email. Do I need to take my original degrees and certificate in hard copies? If you going to apply for job, for example, this is something they might ask you, an original copy. Or I'm trying to think of other scenarios that they might ask you for your certificate. But I would say, yeah, do have, these are important papers. I'm not saying to have when you were 10-year-old, your certificate. That's kind of nobody needed now because you're going for a master or a PhD. But your A-level, I mean your college and your first degree, yeah, do have it with you. Oh, and do leave a copy at home as well. Actually, Shazad and Kate have been sharing their email. Maybe Felix, you can put the slide where there's contact, and everybody can see the contact information. Okay, can anyone give some tips on managing or saving money monthly stipend in Europe, like cheaper ways of travel or food or others? Actually, guys, the amount of money you're gonna save a lot from it, because most of the unless you're coming to UK, most of the universities in Europe is very cheap and is free even. So you'll end up saving a lot, and obviously, if you cook your own food and don't travel like every weekend or every day or just do shopping, you'll end up saving a lot. I mean, anyway, you'll be studying there, so hopefully your studies will be your priority, and you'll definitely end up saving a lot. I mean, that's one of the reason why even, visa fees and all are not waived, because, well, it kind of covers all that, even the travel and everything. Okay, I need an accommodation certificate in 2 weeks for my visa. What is the best way to book accommodation? Okay, so email your accommodation office to the university. Even if you have not got something yet there, they might be able to give you a letter stating that you will have some sort of accommodation on campus, like they are looking into it or something like this. And sometimes this can be accepted by your embassy. So try that as well. I mean, without knowing which university you're applying and everything, not much we can help. Not much we can advise actually. Okay, will I be able to take a leave for a few days, like 5 days during the course to visit India? This depends on which country you are, which university you are. For example, if you are in UK, you have to have 2 or 3 people above in your course actually ticking off and letting you go home. So it depends on which country and everything. This is again a conversation you need to have with your course coordinator once you're there in your country. But yeah, you do have sometimes a week in between or something like this. So okay, Mazabin, this is something I would say to look up on the Austrian visa regulation page, and even on the university website that you're going to join, and look at their working hours and things like this around your visa D. Okay, any chance of adding a PhD after master in Europe? Yang Y, I hope I pronounced your name properly. Again, getting back to internship and job and everything, this is something which is, if you're proactive and you're looking for it already, why not? You can get it. So it really depends on you guys. Your fate is in your hands, kind of. We can provide you guidance. Obviously, we can, like on our Facebook page, where for the Erasmus Mundus Professional Guide, we tend to sometimes put some adverts, some PhD applications available, something like that. But yeah, it will depend on you. Obviously, you have to know what you want to apply for. You're the one who have to apply for it. Is it allowed to work part-time while studying? It depends on which country you are, which type of visa you have. Proskiosa. Sorry. Is it possible? Oh, the questions, there are so many questions. Is it possible for me to move a week before course starts and then look for an accommodation? Or is it too late to look for one? The country Faye, I would suggest again, this is something you need to look at, to ask the accommodation office in your university, and just go on the net and look at some reviews or what other students in that particular region has written. It doesn't need to be someone from Erasmus Mundus, but generally what the students are saying about the university and the region and the city that you'll be and all, because it varies. I mean, we can advise you something, but unless and until we know which country, which university, we can directly provide you the right information. So you will have, yeah, you will have some Spanish lessons. Not all universities offers it though, just so you bear in mind. Some might ask you to pay, some not. can I opt for a PhD funded? Yeah, you can apply for anything. It depends whether you get it or not. So nobody prevents anyone from applying for something. So would a scanned copy of the offer be acceptable for the application of Italy study visa from India? Uh, Praveen, they might actually ask you for the original one. Best is to actually get your course coordinator fax them something directly. But again, this is something you need to email them or call them and ask whether they will accept it. But guys, do start looking into your visa, okay? Because otherwise later on it can be quite a big headache. This is, as I told previously, this is all part of the Erasmus journey. It's started already. Okay, hello Kate, can I travel around? Sorry guys, that was on my end. Okay, somebody was asking if they can travel to Europe. Apologies guys. So can I travel around the EU? Oh, I keep scrolling up. So can I travel around the EU and back to Belgium before my classes start with just a temporary Belgian residence permit, or should I wait for the official residence? Um, I think you could. I mean, I think I did that in the past, something like that. But I don't know. Things keep changing. Out of Europe to other country, will I even get help from university? Ashada, Ashta Subedi. I don't think your question is quite clear. Maybe you could repose that. Who professes me as okay. You're welcome, Firdaus. Vignesh, so yeah, for example, you can apply for a direct scholarship from the university. So that's possible. Obviously, you have to get very good results and have a good proposal for your PhD. And then obviously approach your coordinators, get in touch with other research professors there. So it will really depend on how proactive and how you're networking and how approachable you are and all. And obviously you have to kind of show that you are a reliable person and all. So you can even get a part or a full scholarship as well from the university directly. Sri Rupa, what do you mean? Which original certificates? You need letter. How long is the holiday break in December? So Preciosa, it depends on your university. Tends to be a couple of weeks, but again, for example, when I had Easter break, actually I didn't really have Easter break. I had Spanish course in between, so Okay, so Sri Rupa, this is something you need to look into the requirements for the PR for Netherlands. Kent, okay. Kent Tangalagan. Um, no, holidays is fine, but this is again something you need clarify with your course coordinators and whoever sent you the letter, because each scenario is different. Because some students are actually partly funded, some are fully. So, I'm aware there are quite a lot of questions actually. I think we haven't answered because we've kind of missed them. There are so many coming back to back. So Hyang Wai, we need to sit for English level test before entering UK. Some countries, yes, you do, if your origin was not in English. So you'll have to prove that you have a certain level of English, written and spoken English, yes. But please do check with your university, okay? So are there churches and is there freedom? Okay, where's the question? Freedom to pray? I don't know who posted this already because of more. Okay, so Caroline, are there churches and is there freedom to worship? Of course, Caroline. So you'll have to, once you're there in your location or even beforehand, Google for it, and even in Google Map, just search for nearby church or something like this. And even on your campus, you might have a little chaplaincy or something like this, or little mosque, or I mean, there are facilities. Obviously, outside campus you have more facilities, but on campus sometimes you do have like a little church or something. Depends where you are. So how easy is it to process the visa for the United States from Europe, say Germany? I think Felix's friend did that. If Felix can still hear us. Just one thing, it depends though from where you are, where your passport has been issued, okay? We only saying Western student. Yes, Prince Gilsa, they do out, but you need to ask them this, okay? So don't sign a long-term contract. You have to ask for a short-term contract because each of these universities, they know that there is an Erasmus course happening in the university. So have this conversation with your course coordinator and the accommodation office. So CC your course coordinator even, just to make things simpler, and say that okay, you're an Erasmus student, you're here from this date to that date, and you would like to look into short-term accommodation contract. And I would say do it now. It gets filled pretty fast. Is the English assessment organized by Erasmus Plus essential? For some undetected reason, I cannot access the test. Actually, I don't know anything about the English assessment one. I don't know if Kate Felix knows about it. I mean, when I did my Erasmus, none of these existed really, so. Faith plays. Actually, this is a good question. Is there an EM handbook? To my knowledge, no. We kind of support each other unofficially. You see, hence we have Emma. but it's something we could put in place. Why not? I mean, like, but if you do post a message on Facebook or something, you'll kind of get some help pretty fast. I want to know why tourist numbers are recorded in pairs, because I can only manage one program, but it allows me to bring two birth certificates. Oh, I don't know why that is required. Maybe because you have to give a copy for your visa. But if you go to the certificate issuing office back at home, you should be able to get another one for a certain fee. I mean, I've been requested the same. Sometimes they even ask for the latest one. It should be, like recently issued or something like this. So what I would say, Hafiz, is question your program coordinator why this is required, and whether you should really have it or not. And then back at home, go to the certificate issuing office, and for it, I'm pretty sure for a certain fee you should be able to get it. Okay, so Kate, maybe this is something we could, because Sri Rupa said she found something about the. Oh no, she couldn't access it. Okay. So Shrirupa, maybe you could send us a link of where you found this. Maybe it's an EC thing, because you see, I mean, we kind of help current students and all from our end, but there are certain things that EC themselves have put in place. So certain things we don't really get involved in. You're welcome, Faye. Your degree from Erasmus is accessible worldwide, right? Uh, I remember at some point in time it was not recognized everywhere, because even in Europe, some people didn't know about Erasmus Mundus. They only knew about Erasmus, but not Erasmus Mundus. And some countries in Africa and all, they were not, even in, I think in India, some point in time, they were not. Some universities were not recognizing it. But now there is a workaround this, so you can. I think by default it's done. Once you get your certificate, you will kind of get another one. I can't quite remember the name, but it will kind of map your marks and all and these things. But this is something you guys should have considered even before applying, even before accepting an Erasmus Mundus, okay? What I would say is, when you are starting, get into dialogue with, if you're planning to go back home, and ask whether they will accept something like this or not, which university will accept something like this or not. But it's pretty much recognized everywhere now. I mean, to my knowledge. Can you please share with us the conferences organized by Emma? Which conferences, Caroline? So we have a General Assembly. And in the General Assembly, obviously, we have the steering committee attending, the presidents, and some volunteers, active volunteers, who are selected from their service team or chapters. And then we also have, for example, we have the ESA GM, General Meeting. So Emma falls under ESA. And we have some other Emma partly funded conferences. So when you guys will be studying, you will have the opportunity to apply for funding from Emma. Obviously, it's not a lot of money, but if you in a particular university, the university will partly fund and Emma will partly fund, and it has to have a certain attendance of Emma students to that conference or event, and it has to be kind of more Emma geared. So I will be getting a graduation certificate from all three. Would I get a certificate from EM as well? What do you mean? Okay, guys, to clarify, Erasmus Mundus Association is an association of volunteers of current and alumni students, so current students and alumni, to help you guys. So we an NGO, we don't get paid, and we don't issue certificate or anything. I mean, award certificate, awarding. We don't have awarding power, but we do. Let's say you participate in the mentoring program or something like this. We issue you a certificate of participation. Okay. So we are not a university, so we cannot award you a certificate. And Faye, you will get a certificate. Sorry, excuse me, that was misleading. So you will get a certificate from your university with free 4 logos or whatever and all in it. And just one other thing, guys. I mean, now that we have like around 110 more, actually more, 107 participants here. What I would say is, you know, you kind of knowing from which country you all are coming is I would say network, and you could even, you know, who knows, maybe you traveling to the same country or something like that. Okay, thanks for clarifying, Shirupa. Yeah, so do you approach the university itself? I mean, you know, seriously, guys, be proactive and go for it, okay? So don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask your coordinators as many questions as you need to clarify things. So if any other... we don't help students as such in attending the event, but the coordinator or the university might do. But we can help if you're planning to organize an event, partly fund. I mean, actually, we don't generate money as well, okay? We just recently became an NGO, and our balance hardly has about 1,000 euros. Okay, sorry I got this. Well, I mean... Okay, is there an Erasmus alumni network, perhaps within EU? Okay, this is something very critical, okay? Let me explain. Neither the EC nor Erasmus Mundus Association, which is a group of volunteers, so as me, Kate, Felix, Sam, Ram, Sazad, and all who are here to help you today, we cannot guarantee you a job, okay? We can guide you, we can help you. So Erasmus Mundus, the link that I posted previously, let me get it again for you guys. So on this page, we don't officially do it. That's actually, we have a service team called Professional Development, but we created a Facebook page called Professional Guide, under which we occasionally post some opening that we come across ourselves, okay? And then obviously we have the mentoring program that, you know, if you get paired with someone and you want to help with your career or something like this person can put you into some network or something like this, and then really it depends on you in getting the job as well. This is all part of, you know, being a global graduate and being proactive and doing things by yourself as well. that's, I guess, one of the reasons why, there's no point guaranteeing a job behind at the end, because otherwise you don't get to learn this process and this experience. It's quite a beautiful experience, actually, applying for a job and getting rejected and applying for something else. It can be depressing, but it's a very beautiful learning process. Yeah, so Kate said something actually about universities also have funding for students to attend conferences. So do use these facilities, okay? Approach your course coordinator, approach the different facilities offices there. Okay, Akshayata, if you want, you can open one in each country, but there is also a Europe account that for a certain fee you can pay, and you can use it in different countries as well. Mazabin. Oh, so okay. So you were wondering if Emma helps with the funding for yourself to attend a conference? Not necessarily. This is something you have to look with your course coordinator and your university. But if it is a conference that someone has put a proposal under EMA, and is being the event is partly funded by EMA, then there might be some funding, part funding for traveling for certain EMA applicants to that event. Which criteria is used for selection of volunteers? Actually, you just need to say you want to be a volunteer, and then which service team or group you want to be helping with, and obviously, kind of, when you say you want to volunteer for this period and this period, make yourself available and volunteer. One challenge that we tend to have with current students is they want to volunteer, but then they get overloaded with studies and kind of put it aside. So volunteering becomes something that's optional. But you need to see how serious you are about your own professional development. So volunteering in Europe, guys, is about professional development as well. So it's about learning a new skill. It's not about charity work, as maybe most of you know what volunteer means at home. So, for example, if you're volunteering with Erasmus, for example, you could be leading a project, or you could be, I don't know, working on something really cool, really nice, and you're learning something new, and you could grow your own network and things like this. So it will be in a professional way. It's the term volunteering in Europe is not the same as how we use to at home, which means very much as a charity or something. And one other thing, Caroline, service teams in EMA tends to put calls for volunteers often. Professional development ourselves we will be putting shortly. Okay, so you just click on join, Faye, when on Emma portal, and then the person who's in charge will kind of tick off at the back end to kind of approve. Yes, Akshayata. Santander is quite a good option sometimes, especially when you're traveling to Spain and all. They they are present pretty much everywhere. Yet have we kind of um, responded to most now? Because I just realized I think we've been replying to questions for more than 1 hour now. The webinar itself is for 2 hours. I wonder how I'm going to put that on YouTube, whether it will accept 2 hours video. Okay, I'm really sorry, my questions are just... Okay, so Praveen, I think your question was about a scan of a letter. This actually might not be accepted, but it is what I would say is call or email the embassy, ask about it. One alternative could be that you email your course coordinator and they directly fax or email a copy of the offer letter to the embassy. So the person who's actually signed it, so your course coordinator, if they fax a copy or email it, that might be, it has a higher potential of being accepted from your embassy. Oh yes, actually, Kate, you mentioned something very important here. Very often, if you're carrying certificate which are issued in your country, you might have to actually ask for a copy of it from your university or something like this and get it approved, get this little step and everything, maybe from the Ministry of Education or something like this, and then it's being accepted outside. Yes, the apostille. Yeah, you could put your questions there, uh, but I would say equally email as well. So, what are the common challenges faced and ways of dealing with them? There are loads of challenges, Carolyn. That's why I said you're gonna have a wonderful Erasmus Mundus journey. I think the very first challenge you guys are already having is with regards to visa right now and accommodation. And it's I know it's very difficult to actually approve of an accommodation when you haven't yet even visited it. But do make use of Google a lot. There's already a lot of reviews about these accommodation and universities. Do Google a lot and trust the reviews that other students have done, and obviously by being in contact on the IMA portal, you'll be able to get some advice as well from current students who are in these places or who've recently been in these places. But yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic journey. You'll have challenges all the way. Just be proactive, tackle the challenges. They'll come, they'll keep coming actually. But it's all worth it. Seriously. I'm sorry. How can I get your email IDs? Felix. I'm trying to get Felix to put the last slide. Are there persons to guide us from the airport? This basically might be people from the university, so your host university. There should be some department for welcome. I don't know. It might be called anything. Okay, so contact these people and ask if they do send students. They usually send like a coach or something, and especially when there are a couple of flights at the same time and several students landing at the same time, so they send like a coach or something to pick up students. But this is something you need to contact your university and ask and tell them what time you're arriving. So booking your air flight, your ticket obviously and all, is something you need to do beforehand and then tell them. Kate, do you want to put your okay, Kate has already put the email address. Who who also are the recognition of EM? Okay. About whoever said asked about challenges beforehand as well. Um, as I said, you will have several challenges, but try to tackle one at a time. Okay. So right now, your main thing is visa, and then will come, accommodation, then your flight ticket. Like, take one by one. Don't. Sometimes you might want to do a lot at it at the same time, and it might get confusing. I mean, right now it might be fine if if you're not working in a full time already or studying full time and you have time right now, you could tackle it all. But when you will be studying, as these challenges will come, you need to kind of tackle it one at a time. Or you'll also have a course representative actually who could help you when you've started your course. Praveen, it depends on when your visa starts. So let's say you are traveling from Germany to Netherlands. So if your visa for Netherlands doesn't start now, obviously you cannot go there. And depending on when your visa of Germany is finishing, obviously. So this is something you need to decide then. Yes, exactly, Kate. Guys, do bring some money with you. I mean, in my case itself, as I said, I was one of the guinea pigs, it was ages ago. The money didn't come through, the scholarship didn't come through straight away. So obviously, you need to have some means of finance with you initially. Kate, have we lost Cesar and Felix? Okay. In my case, for example, I didn't have a flight grant either, so I had from the money that I was getting sort things out. Uh, Sandeepan, I think this also will depend on the country you are in, and if you're required to pay your accommodation on the day of arrival, and things like this. So please have these queries now itself from your accommodation office and university and all. So ask them how long it will take to open a bank account, for example, how long it will take for the money to be put on your account. When do you have to pay for accommodation? Is it in the beginning, the first day of moving in? So obviously, if you have to, if directly from the airport you're going to the accommodation and you need to pay, then obviously you need to have some cash or some means of paying. Uh, Diana, your family can visit you, obviously. Obviously, they'll have, uh, they'll need to apply for their own visa. They will need your papers so that you are a student there. They or you will have to guarantee where they are studying and that they have enough money on their account to visit. And there will be loads of other requirements from the embassy that they have to fulfill. Uh, Tivia, it depends. So when you, what I would say is now itself, be in contact with your course coordinator, and they will put you in contact with the office that will issue you a letter that you are a student there. And usually, when you join a university, especially the very beginning of the year, academic year, you will be asked to register, and then you have to kind of take that paper that you get, go and open the account, and yeah, usually it takes a week. So if you don't go and get that paper immediately, you wait for ages. So it's kind of down to you then, you know. So obviously you will go to the bank later on and it will kind of postpone everything. You can, Shrirupa, in some cases you can open a zero balance account depending which bank. Regarding the pre-booking of flight, visa, and accommodation, maybe Kate will be able to answer you based on that, because in my case I was not reimbursed anything. So, but just so you guys know something, I mean, even if you're paying for your flight or visa or accommodation now itself, the amount of money that you will get afterwards will cover all that. So, okay, so obviously you will have Sandipan, you will have your passport with you. In some cases, For example, I remember I carried my bank statement from home because when I had to apply for my visa here, they wanted some bank statement, and I was not here for 3 months yet then, so I had to provide some previous bank statement as well. I carried a police certificate with me, but although I was requested to get one from UK as well to apply for my other one, I actually carried even medical papers with me just to even get through the airport, the very first time I needed to have a scan or whatever. Um, what else? Apply for a driving license. If you have a previous driving license from home, obviously carry that with you. Somebody back home from Europe. Caroline, I think this depends to where you want to transfer money. But do you remember you have to give a reason potentially of why you're transferring it? And if you are transferring a big amount back at home, they will inquire you as a where you get that money and why you transferred that. Potentially, yeah, they might ask this. Rodelio, you don't need to worry about whether your SIM card will work in all EU countries now, because there's no roaming charges as from earlier this year, a couple of months back. Providers. Um, I don't have any particular preference on SIM providers, really. And it really depends on where you're gonna be. Rodelio, you answered well, thank you, that's good to know, but I don't know what we answered to you anyway. Okay. Okay, more question. Okay, Praveen is asking, in the intended duration of intended stay, when you're applying for the visa, so you'll be traveling from one country to another, right? So if you get the right letter actually from your course coordinator, if you're coming back to Italy, they might even give you for a year or 18 months. In some cases, you might have to apply. Sometimes the embassies as well, they tend to issue different type of visa, even though it's the same country. So Caroline, well, that really depends on you. It will be something, the bank will ask you basically on the application form of transferring money outside. Sorry, you will be asked why you are transferring the money. Maybe no, we don't mind. Okay, so Kate, could we put an end now, or are we still having more questions? We still have quite a lot of them actually still online. Some are kind of quiet. I think are just reading through. Okay, any translation on sworn any suggestion on sworn translation? Sandipan, as I mentioned earlier, any sworn translation of documents, sometimes they tend to have expiry as well. So, like all apostille documents as well. So I think after 3 months or something like this, they kind of not valid anymore. So in my case, what I did, well, I didn't do it in my Erasmus, but I did it when I was doing my PhD. So I kind of gave my dad permission to do all these paperwork for me. So I gave him the power of attorney, and then he was doing all the things that needed to be done back at home. Your birth certificate is in English, so this can very well be accepted as well, but it's something you need to again ask the embassy. I remember when I was sending documents to the consulate, Spanish and Greek consulate in South Africa, I had to pay for translation and they wouldn't accept English. But when I did it in UK, when I actually applied for the visa for the Greek one and the Spanish one, I actually didn't have to translate it. You're welcome, Caroline. Okay, so I wish all of you all the very best. Enjoy time at home. Enjoy the little challenges that have started already. Kate, I'll be leaving the webinar now because I've got another call shortly.